Have you ever just stood there staring at a spice rack and felt completely overwhelmed? A little inspired, sure, but mostly just intimidated? Well, today we're going to crack open those little jars and unlock the secrets inside. And we're not going to do it with guesswork, we're going to do it with science.
We've all got one, right? That collection of spices in the cupboard. It's supposed to be this amazing toolkit for flavor. But let's be honest, half the time it feels more like a dusty museum of ingredients you used once.
You know, the food scientist Dr. Stuart Fairmond really hit the nail on the head with this. He says a spice is often bought for just one recipe, and then it gets pushed into the gloomy depths of a kitchen cupboard.
Yeah, I thought so. We have all been there. But what if there was a totally different way to think about this? A way to finally move beyond just following a recipe word for word? Well, here's the secret. Turning that spice rack chaos into some real culinary magic isn't about memorizing a million recipes. Nope. It's about understanding the simple, kind of elegant science of what makes spices actually work.
All right, so how does this all work? Well, our whole journey into flavor really starts with one very basic question. What even is a spice? Okay, get ready for this, because it's pretty wild. A spice is basically just a part of a plant that's packed with super potent chemical compounds. And here's the kicker. Those compounds were never meant for us. They're actually a plant's chemical weapons. It's survival kit. And these spices, they come from literally every part of the plant. I mean, think about it. Cinnamon is the bark from a tree. And turmeric, that vibrant color comes from a root that grows underground. Totally different parts of a plant, but both are absolutely loaded with flavor. So this idea completely changes how you look at your spice rack. That bitterness in turmeric, it evolved to keep animals from eating it. The heat from black pepper, that's an insect repellent. Even the sweet smell of clove was just a way to attract pollinators. We basically just figured out how to turn a plant's defense system into deliciousness. So if all these spices are just a collection of plant defense chemicals, how in the world do we combine them to make things taste good? Well, the key is learning their language. And that language is written in something called flavor compounds. These are the tiny, tiny molecules that create every single smell and taste we get from a spice. You can think of them like the individual notes that, when you put them together, create a whole symphony of flavor. And this is where the science gets really practical. Instead of trying to memorize hundreds of different spices, which is impossible, we can group them into just 12 flavor groups. And it's all based on which flavor compounds are the most dominant. Trust me, this simple little shift in thinking changes everything. Okay, let's take an example you definitely already know, the sweet warming phenols group. This is where you find spices like clove, star anise, and cinnamon. You already know these go together, right? Like in holiday baking or mulled wine. Well, now you know why. It's because they share the same main flavor compounds. And then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you've got the pungent compounds group. This is where all the heat lives. Spices like chili and black pepper. It's a totally different sensation, but it's organized by the exact same scientific logic. See how it works? Okay, so we've got these flavor groups. That's cool. But how do we actually use this knowledge in the kitchen? Well, the answer is a pretty revolutionary tool that turns all this science into a simple visual map for flavor. This is the big question for any cook who wants to get creative, isn't it? How do you get that confidence to just improvise, to make your own blends and just know it's going to taste good without having to look it up? Well, here it is. Welcome to the periodic table of spices. I know it might look a little intense at first, but it's actually a brilliantly simple tool that organizes the entire world of spices based on the science of how they taste. The real genius here is how it's organized. See those vertical columns? Each one is a flavor group. That means any spices you find in the same column, like cinnamon and clove over there, share a similar flavor profile. They're natural best friends. They just work together. And using it is so simple. It's just 3 steps. 1, pick a spice you already know and love. Let's say cinnamon. 2, find its column on the table, its flavor group. And 3, just start experimenting with its neighbors in that column, like clove or star anise or allspice. It's basically a roadmap to endless new combinations.
Now, this little tool does way more than just help you pair spices. It's going to completely revolutionize your whole approach to cooking. It'll fundamentally change how you think about building flavor from the ground up.
Think about it. The old way of using spices was all about intimidation, right? You were just blindly following recipes, hoping for the best. This new way, the science way, is all about confidence. It's about creativity and freedom. You stop being just a recipe follower and you become a true composer of flavor.
You now have the actual framework to look at your spices and just see pure possibility. You can start creating your own signature blends for anything, rubs, curries, desserts, all because you understand the science behind it.
And that brings us right back to where we started. With this new understanding, you can finally rescue all those forgotten jars from the back of the cupboard. That lonely, one-time use spice now has a whole family of flavor partners just waiting to be introduced.
So really, the only question left is, what are you going to create first? Are you going to pair that earthy cumin with its neighbor, annatto, for a killer new barbecue rub? Or maybe some exotic cardamom with fiery galangal for a new twist on a curry? The map to a whole new world of flavor is literally in your hands. Go play.